I believe it's a way of giving back to the less fortunate. I believe in going back and bringing awareness, and that's exactly what's happening. At first, we were made to understand from people in the upper echelon saying that this problem does not exist. It's a North American problem because of the lifestyle and diet here. But now that we've done this here since going back to 2008 with Munish Mangal, we've seen a lot of cases coming out, and there could be as much as 200 cases with another 40, 50 yearly.
What's your motivation?
Predominantly, I love to be able to help other people and provide the services that I can at a time that I can offer. It's not something that I can just do for free in the regular world, but with things like having a sponsor like this that says, if you'll provide the free service, we'll get you there. I'm all for it.
What was it like the last time?
2008 was a whirlwind. If it hadn't been for the pictures, it'd been hard for me to remember everything that happened because we did so much. But the greatest thing about 2008 is the fact that here in 2011, I can ask about the patients, or the patient predominantly, and I hear how well he's doing. You know, the fact that he has gotten married, he's gone on with his life, he's had a child, he's working like he wanted to be. That's just tremendous. That's the type of thing that that I believe is trying to be offered here. A life for these people that they wouldn't have had.
How have you developed as a person, as a doctor, from then to now, in terms of one who has been able to voluntarily provide your service there in a third world country and help a child?
Not only have I been able to sit back and say this was a great thing that I have done, but I've made other trips and have helped out, helping one of their military officers, which is tremendous to me, being myself a military officer in the reserves. But it allows me to look around saying, look, if he's doing it and I was able to help them, is there someone else I can help? Is there another way that I can help, that I can offer my services? I'll be more than happy to do that. And so it's given me, I guess you'd say the way that I've grown is that I'm looking for other things that I can also offer. George is just superior. I mean, he has done nothing but treat us right. He gives back to the people. That's the philanthropy that I love being a part of. Giving back to those who are in need, being able to help them. And it does me, like I said, it does my heart good saying, I want to be a part of it.
How are Guyanese benefiting from this?
An awareness. Guyanese are of the mindset that this kind of problem, because many times they die at a very young age and they don't know what it is, and they hear the same thing like the man just died all of a sudden out of some stomach issues. But really this is bringing awareness, and it's being accepted by the doctors. As a matter of fact, with Gopinath Ramprasad, they tell me he had wind. So they were treating him for wind. I don't know what wind really means. But he said they were treating him for wind. And here, the guy had a kidney failure that's now being resolved.
I'm Dr. Alden Doyle. I'm an associate professor of medicine at Drexel University in Philadelphia. I'm a full-time transplant nephrologist. I'm not a surgeon, so I'm a nephrologist. I participated in transplant, but I dedicated myself to transplantation for the majority of my career for the past little more than a decade. I'm very excited. I've done some other international work before, but I haven't been able to do it in the setting of transplant, so I feel that this is the first time I've been able to mix kind of international work with some of the stuff that you can bring from the first world, like the complexity of transplantation. I worked in Botswana, I worked in Ghana, I worked in Guatemala, I worked in Costa Rica.
What did Dr. Jindal told you that prompted you to want to make this trip?
It was that. It was exciting. He said, he mentioned some of the early successes they had and the large amount of enthusiasm. So there's been a series of successful operations, but for the number, there's been an enormous wave of enthusiasm about the kind of possibilities that could exist in the country, and about the potential to start to look at maybe some of the underlying causes of advanced kidney disease.
What are some of the causes?
So in the U.S., and I would expect also Guyana, would be primarily diabetes and hypertension. There are other autoimmune and inflammatory diseases in the kidney, but the big epidemic is an epidemic that we call metabolic syndrome, which is some combination of gout and high blood pressure and central obesity and diabetes. So it's a disease of too much eating and not enough energy. And all these things, among other things, conspire to cause are the largest causes of kidney disease in the developed world.
What do you hope to leave there to say, well, okay, this is what you're leaving as your knowledge?
Yeah, so a couple things. I'd like to look at the process that leads up to successful transplants. So I'm going to be interested not only in the operation itself, but in the things that will potentially lead to further operations, and so the workup of other potential donors. And I think in any circumstance in a developing country, if in all circumstances of public health, if you look at a disease, you can, if you focus your attention only on the cure, the piece, like let's say diarrheal disease, if you only fix the cases of diarrhea and do nothing to the water supply, then you partly miss the boat. So I'd like to look at the successful operation transplantation as an opportunity to bring attention to the much larger pyramid of disease that pushes people towards end-stage kidney disease.
What does it entail from you, and where did you get any assistance, if any?
Yes, it entails a lot of work and commitment to see this through, because you just can't lead people to believe that it's going to happen and doesn't happen. It takes a long time. Yes, and I did get help. I believe since Manush Mangal, I've decided I want people in the community to get involved where that person or persons came from. And such is the case at hand. I had Mr. Satish and Mr. J. Jainarayan from the Skeldon Line Path area. They were able to help. They came up to the plate and they did help with a hospitalization stay of approximately $5,000, which was made payable directly to the Balwant Singh Hospital. As you know, I don't ask people for money, and I don't want any money paid to me. I paid for the first-class airfare for all the doctors and support staff to go, and I paid for the hotel accommodation and meals while they were there. Yes, and I did get a lot of cooperation from my coordinator, Lake Prasad. He's the one who do all the coordination for me, and my PR guy, Mr. Jas Prasad. And of course, there's so much other people. We did get a ton of the cooperation. This time, from Dr. Barry Ramsaran and the government. They did cooperate, and they promised to send the medicine. Unfortunately, it came late, and I had to take the medicines down. And the medicine for CellCep and Prograf, as some of your listening audience might know, is very pricey, in excess of $2,000 or more to take that. And now I'm told they need some new medicine called Valcine, which I had to send, Valcyte. I'll be sending that tonight or the next day because the patient needs that desperately.
What do a project coordinator do?
You are a master fixer of the pieces of the puzzle. Before you can make an engine turn, and I may allude to my profession, you've got to get various bits and pieces of the puzzle. The first thing you have got to do is to have someone who's willing to undertake that undertaking. Secondly, you've got to get the people to fall into the places, and then you've got to get a person to work with and person to work on. So my job primarily is to make everyone feel at home so that the job can be done.
Is it a difficult job?
I wouldn't classify that as a difficult job. It's an arduous task, but it's a very rewarding.
Tell us about what kind of a team leader medically Dr. Jindal is.
I think he's an inspirational person. He is very thorough. He's inspirational, he's educational, and he happened to have something that Guyana needs. The endurance, the perseverance, the knowledge, and the desire to help the needy.
What kind of a sponsor is Mr. George Subraj?
Well, the name George Subraj goes back a very, very far way. I have known him for many, many years. His parents have been philanthropic. And George Subraj is selfless. When I say selfless, because he inspires us by saying selfless service is divine. And he looks not for him, but for the end result. Serving this patient we're going to work with is not the end of his vision. His vision is to bring an awareness, to enlighten that awareness, so that the other patients will not reach to this stage.
What is it that motivates Lake Rampasar?
Having someone to work with like George Subraj is a one-in-a-lifetime beat. It's like winning a lotto. You may have all the desires, all the pursuits, but then sometimes the compatibility is not there. George Subraj has always been someone who's inspired me to take a page out of his book and to take a page of my parents' book. And it means very simple. Go, do your best, and things will fall into place. He has proven that over and beyond. That's why I'm happy to back him in any perspectives.
How difficult is this for you?
It's not easy, as you know. I have a business here to run. I do provide clean, safe, comfortable housing, and that takes a big toll on you as it is. But fortunately for me, I have a good team working here. My brother, my son, and my other brother Jay and Ken. They are working very hard. My daughter Jasmine out in Long Island, and Harry out in Florida. It takes a lot of teamwork, and together we shine. And if we can work together as one team, everybody in the whole generally, if they can work together, we can come out with a good product as we did right here.